Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Hodson. I'm the chairman of the Tarrant County Historical Commission. It is October 19th, 2020, and we are here at Heritage Park to do some presentations for our Summit Awards for the Tarrant County Historical Commission. Before we start to do the presentation of awards, though, I've asked Dr. Rick Seltzer to be here today. We're at the site of a new marker, and I'm going to let him explain the new marker that's here and the significance of that. So for now, I'm going to turn it over to Rick.
Okay, thank you. Protocol for these things is to stand up, speak up, and shut up. And I'm about 2/3 of the way there. I promised Jim I would keep this short and sweet in my remarks, but before I do anything on the tree, I'd like to make 2 points with your tolerance. Number one, these trees behind me, I've seen a hell of a lot of history. And my one point is that history is all around us. And if we just look for it, it doesn't have to be a monument, it doesn't have to be a statue, it doesn't have to be an old building. And these trees are a reminder that history is everywhere around us if we just look. The other thing is that these trees are this marker right behind me, the Steele's Tavern Oaks marker, is a testimonial to what a group of people can do. You don't have to have presidents and governors and legislators or even county representatives all the time. The people who made this marker possible are Bob and Clara Ruddle Holmes and Linda Fash and Cindy Eric, and they're the ones who put in the months and months and months and in more than a year of getting these trees marked. So those, I think, are 2 points we ought to keep in mind for how these things come together. As far as the trees themselves, these trees have been here since 1849. They were here when Ripley Arnold and their dragoons first arrived and established a post on this spot. They're here today, 170 years later, so they've seen a hell of a lot of history come through here. Now, the trees themselves, you got to understand, number one, they're called Steele's trees because they stood in front of Steele's Tavern or Steele's Hotel. And by in front of, this would have been more or less the eastern edge of the fort, the original post. And what would have been what became Steele's Tavern or Steele's Hotel began as the stables of the hotel. When the Army moved out in 1853 and the citizens moved in, they took over that stables, and Lawrence Steele converted them into a hotel with dirt floors, which is below our standards today, but a hotel. And these trees would have provided shade in front of the stables, later in front of the hotel. But what you got to remember, those of us especially that are here, is the elevation has changed a whale of a lot in 170 years. Because whereas we had to come up steps to get here now, it's in a planter box, which is higher, which requires even coming higher. All this would have been level ground with the trees and the Steele's Tavern all on the level ground. And if you see a picture, and I promise Jim I'm closing it up, but if you see a picture of this area around the turn of the century, 19th to 20th century, this was all level ground. The dirt top of the bluff, very, very few trees. It's amazing that these trees right here survived, that they weren't cut down or destroyed. So the miracle, if you will, or the plain dumb luck that we've still got these trees here is a reason to mark them and to cherish them, because we don't know how many more months or years these trees will still be here. When they're gone, they're gone. The marker may last, but there's no way ever of telling on the trees. So that's kind of a quick background on the trees, who they're named for, what they were in front of. And I'll turn it back to Jim.
Thank you, Rick. Sometimes people ask, why does history matter? And the Steele's Tavern oak trees and these trees and the work of this commission and some of the work that we're going to recognize today is historic preservation. And it matters because it builds community. Over 60% of the people who live here in North Texas today didn't live here 25 years ago. They don't know about Steele's Tavern. They don't know about the fort in many cases. They don't know about Fairmont and some of the bungalows and things like that. But the preservation of these items help with historic tourism, but they also help to build community, a sense for all of the people who come here that they're part of something that's bigger than themselves. And so with that, we're going to start to recognize a few people who have been instrumental in preserving historic sites here. Okay, we have Linda Fash-Bush here with us today, and Linda runs the Fash Foundation, and she has been very instrumental in helping with historic preservation and just getting the word out about some of the historic events here in the community for a long time. She helped with the World War I Centennial Commemoration. She helped with some of the traveling displays that we've got in Quanah Parker. She helped with the marker that we're sitting here in front of. So we wanted to recognize Linda with the William E. Jerry Jr. Memorial Award. It's given in honor of William E. Jerry Jr., who was an avid Fort Worth and Tarrant County promoter, collector, and preservationist. It's given to recognize an individual's exceptional efforts in preserving or collecting the history of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. And Linda, this trophy is yours for 2020. And if you'd like to say a few words,
I would. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
everyone. And this is really special, especially to the Fash Foundation. It's a family foundation, and Mace grew up right here in Fort Worth. So this is really an honor. This is a treasure for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Well deserved. Thank you,
Thank
Linda.
you. Thank you.
You're here.
Our next award recipient this afternoon is David Phillips. David works for the city, or the county, and has been primarily responsible as a caretaker for the county courthouse, as well as the grounds around it and other things around here. David was instrumental in helping with the marker that we see behind us, in addition to any number of things at the courthouse. He's been on top of a lot of different projects and has been extremely helpful in getting some of these things through and taking place in what needs to be done here. So we wanted to recognize David, especially just before he retires. We don't know that we're going to be able to rely on him much anymore, but we're honoring him with the Tom J. Vandegrift Award, given in honor of Tom J. Vandegrift, a citizen who gave outstanding public service and leadership in Tarrant County, as well as the state of Texas. This award is presented to an individual for long-term exemplary service contributing to the history of Tarrant County. David, congratulations.
Jim, thank you very much. I appreciate I got the opportunity to help. I appreciate the opportunity to help out any way I can. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Enjoy your retirement. We'll be calling on you later. Our next recipient this afternoon is Ira Ryle. Ira has been a collector of homes, so to speak, here in the area in Ryan Place and in Meadowbrook, as well as some of the other areas here, and has been restoring houses for 10 years now.
Oh, yeah.
Longer?
10 to 20.
10 to 20 years. And we wanted to recognize that because some of the areas that he's done his work in, it has really brought back the character of early Fort Worth. And so we're presenting Ira this afternoon with the Debbie Reynolds Hayes Memorial Award, presented in honor of historic preservationist Debbie Reynolds Hazen. It is given to recognize an individual less than 50 years of age who has shown leadership in collecting and preserving the history of Tarrant County. So Ira, congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you.
And we're gonna have pictures of some of the work that Ira has done on our Facebook page and the website. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final recipient this afternoon is the City of Fort Worth for the restoration on the Pioneer Tower in the Cultural District. Dennis Shingleton is here to represent the city, and in recognition of the work that was done to that tower, which is in the Will Rogers campus. It had been dark for many years, and now it's a beacon for people that are coming to the Cultural District. This award is normally given to an individual, but we felt that this was important enough, and there were too many people involved in this project to single one person out. So we're presenting it to the entire city, and Dennis, we'd like to thank you for being here today to accept the award.
Thank you, Jim. And first of all, I'd like to thank the Tarrant County Historic Conservation Group. You can't imagine how much your efforts add to the quality of life of our citizens. And that's so important for this city, is to have these markers and these identifications where we can, not so much, even my children, but my grandchildren, can understand and be educated with the wonderful Western heritage we have in this city. So thank you for that. Secondly, I would like to thank those individuals who really put a concerted effort together to put the tower back together. And there was a lot of money involved and a lot of heartache involved. But once you see, once we turn this on and get these mosaics shining on the light, you're going to be amazed at what a great task this has been, and a great love for that particular tower. So thank you for that. Thank you very much for the recognition on behalf of the city, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for everything else you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And one final note before we end the presentation here today: none of this would have been possible without Cindy Eric and the work that she did to put this presentation together, gather the awards, the nominations, and the rest of the summit that we hope you're going to enjoy here in just a few minutes. So thank you all for attending today.
Here, here.